So we're back out on the fields in Perthshire. Marty's already underway, he's got the Whites DFX. I'm on the XP Gold Max. This field's produced everything from a Bronze Age axe head tip, which was 800 BC. We've also had Roman coins, we've had hammered coins, medieval coins, and modern stuff as well. So got high hopes that we're going to turn up something good. Hopefully the sound is reasonable. Unfortunately I broke my microphone yesterday, so having to do it without one. So we'll see how it goes because it's quite blowy. So first find of the day is this. Looks like it's made of silver. That's the hallmarks for silver. I've got no idea what it is. It's plain on one side and it's pretty thin. I thought kind of a spoon handle or something maybe, but I don't understand the little bit at the end with a hole drilled in it if it is a spoon handle. Bit of a debatable one this, but I dug it anyway given we've had Roman finds from this field before. Oh, there we go. So what's that? Not entirely sure. Not sure, but I think it's just a piece of solder. Does look like it's, you know, thought to myself, oh, it's a Roman implement or a Roman tool or something like that, but I don't think so. Hey ho. So I got my first coin of the day, which is right here. Pretty sure it's a coin and not a button. Yep, it's a coin. Right, we'll give it a wee clean up, see what it looks like. So it's a little bit of a surprise. I was expecting Georgian. You can see Britannia on the reverse. But on the other side, get that into the light a little bit. Can you see that? Two heads. And I think that is William and Mary. So William of Orange and Mary Stuart. Just try and get out the wind again. So that would date to the time of what's called the Glorious Revolution. So they stole the throne in 1688. They took the throne as Protestants because James VII, who was, let me get this right, father-in-law and father of Mary, was Protestant, but James VII was a practicing Roman Catholic. So it was effectively a coup. And that's what started the Jacobite rebellions. So if you supported James VII, who was exiled in France with his cousin, Louis XIV, if you supported him, the Latin for James was Jacobus, so you became known as a Jacobite. So that's a lovely coin. Haven't had one of them for quite a while, good few years probably. So probably dates to between what, 1688 and probably the 1688, I think it was about 1692 or thereabouts, 1694. So good coin, good age, good history. Sounded like a big bit of iron, so I didn't film it, and it was a big bit of iron. Bit of a strange thing though, look, it's got this kind of bit at the back that's suspended. I'm assuming it's probably for teeth to rake the soil or something like that, so probably off a fairly modern tractor part. So hey ho, not a bad signal. Hate to say it, but it sounds like a coin. So it's out the hole at the first scoop. Is it a coin? Is it not a coin? Whatever it is in there. It's not a coin because it's a hot rock, as we call it, which is a type of almost like coal, charcoal-y sort of stuff. Another pretty decent one. Maybe too decent. Yes, as potentially expected, a huge piece of iron. great big plough shear, it's not an axe in case anyone thinks it is. So another Fe signal and another big lump of iron. This is half of a horseshoe. Big horse, very big horse. So this would have been one of the old Shire horses that would have pulled the plough, and they really were absolutely huge animals. So Martin's got a one or two things though. There we go. He's got a cartwheel penny, which is George III. Can't see a lot of detail on it, but it might clean up a bit better. This will date to 1797 because they were only made for 1 year. So that's a good find. So a few more finds for Martin. Got this massive musket ball. So muskets, flintlock muskets, fired these lead balls, but this one is a really big and very heavy. He's also got, let me just drop that there a second. He's also got this little button which has writing on it that says the Guion line, G-U-I-O-N we think it is, and we've actually looked it up, and it was a shipping company that ran a boat between Liverpool and New York via South Africa we think it is, and it dates to around about 1860 to 1870. So a bit bizarre how that ended up in a field in Perthshire, but it did. Then he's got two old Scottish coins. On the right hand side we've got what's called a bobby, on the left hand side a turner. These are both hammered Scottish coins made of copper. I know you can't really see very much on them, but take my word for it. But look how thin they are. You can just make out a thistle on this one on the left, in the middle. So that's a turner, or a 2p, and a bobby I think was a 4p. So Charles I on the left, which is 1620 to 1649. Charles II on the right hand side, so he was restored in 1660. I think he was on the throne till 1680ish. So, two nice coins. Another crisp signal. I'm trying to keep the videos as short as possible for the wind, but we've got a silver coin. It's not a hammered coin, but it is an early coin. You can see him facing to the right hand side. And GVI, and up here we've got 1, 1, and I think 1, so 3. And I think William, he was William of Orange, so that would be the same man, I think, who was in the other coin that I just had about an hour ago, William and Mary. She died first, I think she died in about 1694, and he went on to rule until I think about 1702. So I think it's probably a silver sixpence, but it could be something like a shilling maybe. Well worn, very smooth, bit blackened because it oxidises in the ground, but at the end of the day it's a coin that's over 300 years old, so I'm very happy with that. So another signal. This is a musket or a pistol shot. It's made of lead. It's got this little nipple on the top, and that's because it's been made in a mould and then that gets trimmed off with a sort of pair of scissors or a pair of shears, but it's not been trimmed. So someone's dropped that, it's not been fired. But you know, it could be 15, 16, 17, 1800s. I think they were mostly in use till about 1850 before the first sort of bullet, an all-in-one bullet was invented. So we've got quite a lot of bits of pottery coming up around here, this area of the field that we're going into, so it's a good sign. It's not particularly old, 100, 200 years old, most of these pieces, but ultimately it means that there's been people here, and hopefully they had holy pockets. Martin's over there, you can see the line that he's walked. I've come across from that direction, and I've got a signal. So I shouted over to him to say I hope it's not something really good or he'll be furious, and it's popped out here. First I thought, you beauty, it's a gold coin, my first one ever. However, it looks more like a button, and it is a button. So Martin will be relieved. But that's what happens when you don't swing the coil close enough to the ground, you lose depth. And I suspect that's what's happened. This one sounds good. So it's out. It was a deep one. Wind's a killer. No microphone. Right. Somewhere in about here. Oh, there we go. Marty! I've just shouted Martin over. It looks like another hammered coin. I think it is. I think it is another silver hammered coin. Just wait till Martin gets here. I think it is. It is. So I've shouted Martin over, had a wee rummage around, and then I've turned this up, and it looks like a silver coin. Martin, any guesses?
It's definitely hammered anyway.
It looks hammered to me. Right. And it looks like it's whole as well. And don't worry for anyone who's saying I'm going to scratch it. I'm not going to scratch it. Oh, there we go, look. Huh. Gang? Don't think that's right. Right, there's a wee stream over there. I'm going to go and give it a little wash and see how it comes up. Back in a moment. Here you go. Don't want to rub that off, but that's the reverse anyway. Still can't make out who it might be. Oh, that's a lot clearer. Oh, brilliant, look at that. Jacobus. Oh, look at that. James is 6th. James is 6. And the X11 means it's 12 pence, which is a shilling in the old days. So it's a hammered shilling. Jacobus. DG, which means Digratia. Ang, A-N-G, that's England. SCO, Scotland. FRA is France. Et means and, I think. HIB, Hibs, Hibernia, which is Ireland. So there you go. Jacobus, by the grace of God, King of England, Scotland, France and Ireland. There we go. Let's have a wee clean up of the back, see if we can get it any better. Oh, brilliant. Oh, there we go. There we go. It says Exingat Deus Dis something, and Intimi. My Latin's not as good as it should be. Deus is God. Exingat. Not sure. I'll need to look into that one. So a little stud from Martin. For it would have been pushed through leather. So probably 100, 200 years old, give or take. Could it be another hammered coin? Oh, here's hoping. There it is right there. So what have we got? Looks like a piece of lead. It is a piece of lead. So it is another piece of lead. Quite a chunky bit. Unusual shape as well. But flat on one side, rounded on the other. Not sure, but Martin's got another signal over there, so maybe he's got a hammered coin, we never know. So Martin's signal that he just had was a coin. Is it a hammered coin?
Not a hammered. Oh no, it's not. It's a button.
It's a button. False alarm. It's a bloody big button though. That's a shame. God, I would have thought that was a hammered coin if I'd have seen it.
Some decoration on it anyway. Very big button.
It's got a little star design in the middle. And a few other things going on there, but very thin button. But it looks like it's been silvered or tinned, silver plated. You can see how shiny it is. Worth a dig, but I think it could be a bit of lead again. So we're out the hole. It is indeed another piece of lead. So we're in a different field. I think this will be the last find of the day, but is it a coin? Is it a button? It is something. It's not a button though. There's no stud or loop. Quite a chunky coin, if it is a coin. Could be a token of some description. I've had a few Roman coins out of this field, but I don't see anything to say that it's going to be Roman. So Marty's just got a what looks like a coin as well, which has a very distinct Roman look to it. I think you can see a head there, looking to the right hand side. We've had quite a few crude Roman coins out of this field over the years, and I think this could be another one. We'll need to clean it up when we get home, but I think it is another Roman coin potentially. I thought that was going to be me done for the day, and right at the death got another find. It looks like a coin, so definitely a coin. It looks like George the 6th or George, yeah, it must be George the 6th, it's not George the 5th. And it is a threepence, 3 pence. So the last find of the day for Martin. Looks like a coin. Not sure if I can make out a face on it or not, but from what I can see, it looks pretty old. I've caught a glimpse a couple of times of what I think is a face. I think it's maybe there, but hard to tell. Could it be Roman? Well, we've certainly had quite a few Roman coins from this field and the next one over the years, so you never know. Right, here we go.